Mic lock button is on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Magic Silver Room, second/first edition of the podcast. This podcast is only on YouTube only. There is an old edition on SoundCloud, but this is the first edition. I'm with Andy. Yep. Who's been eating chocolate all most of the evening. I'm sort of going to be chocolate hangover tomorrow. That's better than a proper hangover, isn't it? So what we've decided to do is we've decided to show and tell. Have I got the mic lock on? Are you recording?
Mic trigger. Mic lock button is on. Mic trigger. Card fader. Empty card 8. Mic trigger. Card fader. Empty card 8. Mic trigger. Mic lock. Finish 1. Finish recording.
Yeah.
Button.
I should really know because I can't see the record button when I'm recording. So that's a bit of a dead giveaway. What we've decided to do is talk about what Magic Silver Room is. I might have to move over there in a minute. What Magic Silver Room is, Rosemary's just texted me. What she said, could I bring a bottle of wine up when I go up? Freaking hell, that'll be ages. Is she not coming down to Happy New Year? Right. We're actually recording this on New Year's Eve, and we decided, let's drop a bombshell on everybody and say, Happy New Year! Woo! It's not going to be exactly happy, is it? Because I'm in the Northwest where tier 3, tier 4, I don't know, the tier 2 areas are tier 3 and the tier 3 areas are tier 4. I bet you in 3 weeks' time will be tier 4. Yeah. It's going to be one of those, isn't it? And really, to be frankly honest, these little towns, they don't need to be in tiers. Anyway. Anyway, we don't need to talk about all that rubbish. You didn't come here to listen to the rubbish. The corona rubbish. The corona rubbish. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you this podcast literally the end of every week. This is just a no holds bar podcast. We haven't got any special guests on this week. We haven't even got any music or anything. Oh, don't we sound really droll? Don't we sound really... We don't even sound prepared either. It's like, the whole kind of... Well, we are doing 2 podcasts on this channel. Yeah, because we've got another podcast on this channel. That's another bombshell dropped. So yeah, what Magic Silver Room is... it's a magazine. It started off through Cyberclans when we were working for Indietronics. There is a story time video, which we're doing. Oh yeah, Indietronics. Yeah. Unfortunately, they're no longer a little company crammed in a ickle office somewhere. They're now a big, massive company called Vengeance. They're an indie company, but the games company that they had, the people we did the website for, are now called Vengeance, and they've now got Cyberclans. Unfortunately, it's an open source site now, due to relaxing the rights and everything. But yeah. But we don't want to tell you that. I want to tell you the good stuff. So the good stuff is like the grand finale. Of the whole thing. Which is, we have some imaginary stuff to talk about first. Yeah. I've read the Geek Supply stuff. Yeah. Clockwork Productions. And people keep asking me about Clockwork Productions and do they have anything amazing? Well, actually, we got a load of offers or a big catalogue sent from them. Well, apparently they had a big argument with Sean, Clockwork Productions. Did they? So I'm told, about the Geek Supply stuff. Now, it's still there. But I think the Make It Workshop are kind of embarrassed by it. So yeah. I love that rumour that we own the Dalek or we got the Dalek or... Well, actually, I'll tell you a little thing. You know the other Dalek they had? They had 2 Daleks. The Make It Workshop had 2 Daleks. And immediately after I shot the picture of the Dalek outside the house. When was it I did that? Last year. It was 2019 when we did it. When we shot those pictures. And immediately after that, I got Oscar Duke messaging me saying, "Do you want Dread the Dalek?" And we thought it was a joke, so we said no. And as soon after that, it got sold. Were they gonna sell you the Dalek? Or... Well, this is why I said no. I mean, I would have loved it though. I would have happily had. I mean, I've got a remote control Dalek which doesn't work, and that's just sat proudly on my table as an ornament. And I don't know whether to paint it, with the acrylic paint. I want to have it, the whole thing. But back to Geek Supply. Yeah, let's talk about the crap stuff. The Geek Supply is now not even Clockwork Productions own Geek Supply. It's back to us that run it, but we don't make any money off it. No, and we don't want to. So we've decided next year to set up a project, Geek Supply, where we use Make It Workshop, and then what happens is, people go, "Oh, Geek Supply," and basically what happens is online, they see something online, and then they go, boom, immediately, straight in there. But they're not buying it off Facebook. They're buying it from the shop, but we're promoting the items that Geek Supply put in. Because the Magic Silver Room community and the geek community in Southport are huge. It's like they're coming out the cracks of nowhere. I've spoke about this before in major topics. And that was way back when we went and we were going to start Asparagus Media up, which, again, fired up the Magic Silver Room community. Because when that closed... and there were Jonathan came up to us and said, how do we run the Magic Silver Room community? And me being me, I turned around to him and said, well, what are you doing? You're doing stuff for Clapperboard UK. I said, right. I said, you've asked me a question. I'm going to give you the question back. Right? Who do you think's the Magic Silver Room community? Yeah. And who do you think leads it? Because the Magic Silver Room community has no leader. Yeah. And it's like the people out there, if they're putting out good stuff like Clockwork Productions, like Steve said, the Magic Silver Room community and the geek community are both like talking to each other, more or less. Well, the geek community, we didn't meet till a year later. Like we went to, we met a guy called Paul. We went to Southport Comic Con, Northwest Comic Con, and we went there, and immediately, I went dressed as a scarecrow first time, but we met a load of cosplayers, but then we met a load of people there that said, you know, we said we were doing Magic Silver Room, yeah, and then we went to another event at Dunes, a smaller Comic Con where they were just selling books and things. We went there, and immediately after that, everybody from there just went, how do we contribute to Magic Silver Room and how do we be the community? Yeah, and we just said, you are the community. I mean, straight away there's like bookshops that have come out of Magic Silver Room. Well, no. There hasn't been bookshops that have come out of it. There's people that have promoted us through. The thing is, it's like you have CKP photography, because we don't want to, like, nobody wanted to do the magazine. Nobody wanted to do it. Nobody wanted to print it, which is a shame. But we are doing an online version as a free book, as a portfolio version. Kind of left untouched, unfinished, and we're going to put it out there. And we're also going to put it out there in the public domain, because it's everybody's magazine. So that was the whole thing. But Magic Silver Room, that's how you left the shop, wasn't it? I'm going to do this as a story time video, but yeah, I mean, stamping my feet. I kind of had a big tantrum because they wouldn't... It wasn't the fact that they wouldn't print my magazine. That wasn't the problem. It's the fact that they wouldn't proofread my work. It was too much for everybody. You know, I gave them the magazine, and so I'm just going to put it out. It's not much, but it would be good just to release it unproofread as a piece of, as an exhibition thing, really. As it'd be great if people go, oh yeah, that was a great article. Because it was my flirting with video game journalism at the time. And that spawned off another community, isn't it? Well, Rachel and Anne, they set up, they set their Xbox up, I think, was it through one of the weekends they did, and COD and everything. But I had friends saying, can we do an event, a Magic Silver Room event? Can we do an event? I'm like, stop asking me, just do it on the Magic Silver Room, you know? You know, there should be community events. You know, we run certain events, but we're hoping that when all this rubbish is done, hopefully we can do a massive event. You know, Magic Silver Room convention. A bit like Comic Con, really. Yeah, well, you know, we're hoping to run a weekend of all kinds of things. Esports, cosplay competitions, all that good stuff. Because we really want to raise money for muscular dystrophy. Oh yeah, we were going to come to that. We were indeed. But just keeping on Magic Silver Room, you know, the thing is, it's all the stuff that's we're putting out there is going to be open source material, or in the public domain. The rest of it isn't, but still, it's free. It's you do whatever you want with it, and we don't give a stuff. I mean, this podcast, for instance, if you want to rip it on YouTube, I don't know how people rip things these days, but you can rip it on YouTube and put it onto a CD and whatever you wish to do. Because this is us talking to you as Magic Silver Room. It's Stephen and Andy talking to you as Magic Silver Room. Now, there are some VR projects that, I mean, we're going to talk and other things, but there's lots of VR projects the way that they're going, and you know. Yeah, well, VR is a big thing. It is a big thing. But should we talk on muscular dystrophy? So, a good friend of the magazine in the community passed away, and she had muscular dystrophy. And when we set up the whole Walking with Daleks thing, that was through Lisa. And we didn't publish that on the page, sadly. Walking with Daleks. So we will publish it, Walking with Daleks, next year. And it was Lisa doing the thing with the Daleks. And then I think Karen did it as well. You guys might remember Karen. Great friend of ours. So you guys might remember. And can I just say, right, this is not a Make It Workshop podcast. No. But the Make It Workshop, without Magic Silver Room, Make It Workshop wouldn't have revived. No. Because we did a lot of things. I mean, we got the Dalek. I mean, the Dalek came before Magic Silver Room. Yeah. But we didn't have any content for the Facebook page at that time. So, and everybody was asking for content. So we got the Dalek out of here, and it's still one of the most talked about things on the page. People were saying, why did you do that, Stephen? Why? Publicity stunt? But really, you know, this is what we want to say. The Dalek, we don't, the Dalek's our friend, if you will, but it's Ray's baby. And Magic Silver Room is, you know, if Ray wanted to have Magic Silver Room by tomorrow, he could have it, and we wouldn't ask him for any money, because, you know, he's done a lot of favours for us. Like, we never paid him we paid him to sit in the Dalek, but that was for muscular dystrophy. We, you know, and that was because they were doing a big thing back then. And I gave Ray £1 to sit in the Dalek, so I did that. But I don't own the Dalek, and you wouldn't want to, like you said, and I wouldn't want to, you know. And I think it would get vandalised. I mean, it's not. I don't think the people who've got the Dalek in the shop, I don't think they're looking after it properly. But it gets re-engineered. But yeah. But I think Magic Silver Room, the Make It Workshop, gives us content every time. I mean, we left the shop. I can't remember how many years ago we left the shop, but everybody seems to contact us for material, so we put it in there. But Magic Silverham's not a catalogue, it's geek culture. Yeah, because we looked at the geek culture. But the way the geek culture's done is Southport is on the map for geeks, you know, and soon it's like Norman Wallace. I spoke with Norman Wallace actually about, it wasn't about anything, but I spoke with him and I asked him about Sega, and he said that he had a big deal with them, and you know, it'd be cool if Southport had a Sega world. Well, I'll tell you a couple of things, right? I found out a few little things, just a few little things. Who's messaging me now?
Messenger. Susan Campbell.
Oh, right.
Thumbs up.
Thanks.
10:44 p.m. Reply. Button.
Anyway, we'll post this tomorrow, this podcast. You probably won't remember. Well, there's two things actually. I was big into Sonic as a kid, and they had I can't think which shop it was, but they had a huge Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah. I mean, I'll tell you another little thing. When I used to be in the playground as a kid, I was probably the only kid in our nursery who used to reenact all the video games. I used to run around Streets of Rage on the wall. I used to get told off for doing it. I used to run around the wall. But there used to be a playground. We used to go to it. It was in the lakes. There was this holiday park we used to go to. And they had this big climbing frame. And you know, at Golden Axe, you got the big wilderness with the big dragons and that. I used to imagine that this climbing frame was wilderness. You know, the big dragon. Yeah. So I was well into that as a kid, you know. I've sort of lived within the video game. You know, Streets of Rage. You know, that to me was really big. But I did hear a rumour in our town like a few years ago that they were going to do in the funhouse, they were going to do a big thing with no, I'm yeah, they were going to do a big, I think it was in the funhouse or the fair, I can't remember where they were going to do it. They were going to do a Sega thing. It'd be cool if they did do a Sega world in Southport. And they could do it. I think it was in Funland. In Funland they had like a Sega theme for a while. But it's one of these things, isn't it? You know, but this is what you could, you know, it would put Southport on the map if we had a huge Sega-themed location. Yeah, the history of Sega. Well, even if we just had a Sega arcade. But I do remember in a chip shop they had Atari Racer in Stephen's chip shop. I'll never forget. Oh, I'll tell you something else. As a kid, I remember like the Sega. The music on the Sega was fantastic, phenomenal. The music on the Nintendo was all right. It was not, but I remember the Amiga. But then I got the PlayStation. But when I was bored of my consoles, I went to the arcade, and my mother was not impressed. You know, you've got this game at home, Stephen. Why do you need to put money in the machines playing them? But I always was impressed with the arcades because the sound was better on them.
Mail. Home. Dock. Safari. Double tap to open. Use 3D touch to show home screen action. Page 1 of 7. Adjustable. Adjust value down or scroll left to show today view. Swipe. Home.
Who can we call?
Camp photos. Audio recording in progress. Audio record. Mic trigger. Mic lock. Finish recording. Finish recording.